Me and Josie have been friends for quite some time now. She's also a reader. She runs a page called The Gift of Hades. Astrology would be more your niche, wouldn't it?
Yes, astrology and neurolinguistics. So
Yes.
more or less programming your mind into a better way of living.
Yeah, yeah. Now, astrology, I'm sure some of you know, you all probably read star signs. I like a wee star sign myself, but the idea of astrology is so mind-boggling for me that it's absolutely blown away. But how precise is it really? Sometimes, like really, really precise.
It can be really precise. It can be sort of very abstract as well for people. So it's more about your personal chart and where it's
Yeah,
headed for you. Often people say to me, I read my star signs, and they don't sort of comply with me. They're
yeah,
not really the
yeah,
real. It's not fitting because they are fitted to your rising sign because you have
yes,
12 different signs. So
yeah,
astrology is personal to you and how the world is working. It's
yeah.
not an overgeneral statement
And
that
how
people
can
think it
people
is.
at home find out their chart?
Their birth chart. It is hard for some people, especially our older generation, because their times of birth and when people have passed away is
Yeah,
something that's really important. So your
yeah,
time of birth and the precise time is the most important.
yeah,
And your date of birth, and you give it to an astrologer, or you maybe download an app like the patterns. Some people have
yeah,
got their patterns not quite doesn't tell you how the ins and outs are of it,
yeah,
but an astrologer like me can look at the chart, build it up, and break it down for you. So
yeah, yeah,
it is a wee bit complex, but I believe that everybody should learn because once you get your big three, like your sun, your moon, and your
yeah,
rising,
yeah.
it's a wee bit more. Your eyes are a wee bit more open to yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
I suppose
It's
that's your
makes you
spiritual.
learn about you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now, Josie, you've often said, I have to say this, you don't like light and fluffy.
I don't. I actually really don't. I There's a lot of light workers in Belfast.
I know.
I don't
That
know.
think that they're a messianic figure.
And I don't mind if you want to be positive because that's what it's about. But it's about being real. Look, the angels aren't going to save you.
Yes,
You have to save
exactly.
yourself, and
Exactly.
you have to be accountable and responsible for
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
People don't think the 3D life matters, and it really does
yeah,
because people go, oh, you're human with a spirit, like your spirit, your spirit. You're actually a spirit with a human body. You're here to experience
yeah,
that on a
yeah.
3D level, you know. So I'm not pulling away from other people's experiences, but I am saying here and right now, it does matter, you
Yes,
know.
it definitely does. There's a lot out there that I think just purely financial.
Yes, it is.
And it's the same sort of as messianic figures. Oh my God, bow down to me and God.
Yes,
I think that we all kind of need to be responsible not to be that, to be
I
honest.
I do. I think sometimes as well, people tell other people especially in the spiritual community, what they want to hear, what's
Yeah,
going, and yes, you can manifest whatever you want, but it's not going to happen the way that you think it's going to happen. You
yeah,
know, you're not
yeah.
going to get a knight in shining armor that's just going to come in and go, here, I actually do want to go with you. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because
yes,
you
yes.
get
Usually
them.
it's somebody brand new, not the one that you think.
I
Yeah,
know that's what I'm saying,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
just thought, I'm not going to be that person. Just going to be really straight, direct, and it's not what everybody wants to hear. And that's usually what my feedback is. They don't come back. They don't ever give. I don't ever get my reviews until a few months later, and they go, when I left you and your reading, I just didn't hear what I really wanted to hear. And
yeah,
then everything you said, it came true, and I was able to manage it better.
yeah,
And you know what? Thank you for that, there.
yeah,
And sometimes it's really positive. It's like, I'm so glad, I'm so happy that you told me that there it's going to happen. It just depends on
yeah,
what your
yeah,
personal
yeah,
circumstances are.
yeah. There's an awful lot in Belfast. I think it's starting to really grow now, isn't it? Like it's starting to
I
be a
do.
lot more.
Is it a trend?
I think so. I think it is a wee bit. I do. I really, really do. I think it's starting to trend a wee bit
It
more.
used to annoy me, and now I've realised that the people who make it trendy, they eventually do fall off. And
Yeah,
it's not that I want to be the only one, but I don't believe that everybody can sit with.
yeah.
You have to have a certain degree of life experience to be able to
Yes.
help
Oh my
people
God.
with
I
their
was saying
life.
this yesterday that the better, the more the readers come through,
I
the better.
I will never ever take I would never ever take advice or spiritual advice from somebody who's had it all.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you come from a certain degree of privilege and like, yeah,
Hmm.
but I don't think.
It's the people in the street that have nothing. I want to hear it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
exactly. So
definitely.
that's how I feel sort of about it.
And what do you think about what do you think about like all these new classes and all people like what would you say to anybody at home that maybe thinks they have a gift, want to learn, want to maybe grow more.
If you want to grow more, now you are growing. You have to. It's for your personal
Yeah,
growth. Um, just because you are maybe speaking to spirit or you're connecting with certain things, don't automatically assume you're meant to be a reader.
yeah,
Make it personal to you. Take time. Take 2 3 years to learn about yourself
yeah,
before you jump into messages and other
yeah,
people. Because I do feel like people miss the point. Like we're not here to um we're not here to teach everybody how to do what we do. We're
yeah,
here to
yeah.
teach everybody how to
Hey.
make sure that there's no such thing as us in the end. We're trying to
Yes.
alert
See,
everybody.
this is what I have been trying to say in a roundabout way. I think if you're always going to mediums, right, you are not building up that trust. You're not being the medium. You always need that medium in the middle,
Yes.
and I feel like that can block.
Yes. So then whenever you eventually you have the trust in yourself and you're going through maybe a period of grief or hardship, it's like I'm gonna come back to basics myself, and I'm gonna learn myself about what's triggering me. Who
Yeah,
am I as a person?
yeah,
And then you're able to cope with life a wee bit better because although we love what we do,
yeah.
it's not our favorite hobby.
No, it isn't.
It
It
isn't. It
definitely, really,
really
really
isn't.
isn't.
And
No.
if if we could just have our favorite hobby and apply all our spiritual awakening
Yeah,
sort of vibe, I think that we would have a more enjoyable life. But unfortunately, unfortunately, this is the career we've
yeah,
chosen,
yeah,
and I think that's only because it's a calling, and we'll move into the things that we really
yeah,
really like
yeah.
eventually as people don't need us
Yeah,
anymore.
I definitely think it is a calling. Like,
It
I
is. It's
definitely
a
do.
calling, but it's
Because I
not
was a
forever.
photographer and I was doing what I was doing, and then this just caught me more than what photography ever did.
Did you?
Hmm.
I don't think this is my calling forever. I do think that eventually I'll teach people and then I'll grow out of it and be able to go to my hobbies and do what I
Yeah,
really want
yeah,
to do. This is something that I'm really interested in and I want to
yeah,
help people, but it's not my favorite thing. Like I
yeah,
have to say,
yeah.
it's
A
terrible
lot
to
of them
say.
out there too, I think, to play follow the leader a
I
lot.
know, I do think
And
that too.
it's,
But do you know what as well? Like see the way it is a trend now as well. It will eventually die down,
yeah,
and then people will be able to fend for themselves a wee bit. I
yeah,
think that we're going through the age of Aquarius now, and I know
yeah,
people say we're not.
yeah,
But there's just those wee inklings that sort of push us into connecting as a community a wee bit
yeah,
more, and it's
yeah,
being done spiritually, which is all about Aquarius, and
yeah, yeah,
it's all about the community spirit itself.
yeah.
So
Yeah, there's a lot more psychic things going on now here than ever before. Like ever before, I feel like there's you can go to any bar like bars and all now and see people you never did that before.
I well,
Loads of people are online too.
do you know I actually wanted to do a wee bit of tarot in coffee shops and stuff like that there, and
Yeah,
I said it in a circle a couple of months ago, and some people really thought that you would be still burnt at the stake for it.
yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, no, I think you could really go in and do whatever you
A
want
lot
like
of
now.
people still live that way. A
I
lot
know
of a lot of readers. There's some
they're
readers out
afraid.
there I see, yeah,
They're
and you
very
still a lot
superstitious.
of them I've seen too, and I'm going, well, you haven't. Why have you not healed yourself? But you're still, you know what I mean? You know, there's some of them, some like people have seen my journey. I used to be a real cunt, and I just started to more like trying to do the work a wee bit more. You have to, because
Yes,
that's what the circle really showed me, Glenn. You need to fucking mature. You need to be. Do you know what I'm saying? As where I wasn't ready then, and that's what I had to work on before I could be a proper reader. I
that's
think.
me as well. I
Yeah,
don't think I've really grown up until I turned around 30 though as
yeah,
well. Like that would be more like astrology ways where when you turn 30 you have your Saturn return and you
yeah,
mature an awful lot
yeah,
more. And whenever I turned 30 I realised that a lot of the spiritual work that I was doing, not that it was about my ego, but it was more about uh, showing everybody what it is instead of
yes,
actually
yes,
experiencing it for what it is.
yes,
And that
yes,
few years have passed, it's like I really, really, I want to come back to me, enjoy life.
yeah,
And funny enough, it you don't need it every day,
yeah,
but when you're using it, everything comes full circle.
yeah. It
Makes sense,
does, it
doesn't it? Does
does.
that make sense?
Yes, it can be very, very draining being a reader. People don't realize, like, mentally. People always ask me, but and I go, "Oh, it's all right," because nobody knows.
Do you know what? I find it really draining
I
too,
do
and
too.
intruding as well, because I
Yeah,
think that anybody who talks to me, they go, "Do you see anything around me?"
yeah,
And sometimes you don't even know who your real friends are because of
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And do you see anything around me? And can you do me a wee reading and all? And I'm going, no,
Because they don't listen half the time. You do.
they don't. They don't. And you know what? I've stopped doing it because
That's
I
me
just
too.
got too
Like,
annoyed. Like at this point, now I just focus on the astrology charts. I used to do the mediumship, obviously, and I
yeah,
love mediumship, but grief, trauma and stuff
It's
like that.
hurtful.
It is
I know, this
hurtful,
is me
and
too.
it's
It's as
hard
well.
to do it with people,
Yeah.
and it takes
Especially when you can't bring them back as such. Because that would be me. I would just want to bring the person back. There you go, healed.
Well, yes, that's what I'm saying, but people don't recognize when you're doing mediumship, when you're looking for mediumship, you need grief counselling.
Yeah.
And medium can only do a wee tiny bit of that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you have to go on and heal that after
Yeah.
you.
You
And
certainly can't just take away
people
grief.
just keep going to these mediumship
I know.
readings and
And
stuff.
I feel like it's prolonging the pain.
It is, and I do feel like, yes, I love doing a wee bit of mediumship for people, and they feel a lot better and stuff. But at
Yeah.
the end of every reading, I do say like you need to work on this here,
Yeah.
because this person isn't coming back anymore. And there's things that that person did for you while they were here, they can't do it anymore, and
Yeah.
that's part of your healing. You have to learn how to fix that for yourself.
Yeah.
So you know what? People think you just give out the messages and that's it, but we worry about them after.
Yeah,
We
we
wonder what
do.
they're doing. We wonder
Yep.
how they're healing it, and you know it's so hard whenever they either don't come back to you or they message you continuously,
Yeah.
and they haven't listened to the readings.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I think we're
like I'll tell you. I'll tell you what I think the example of that is. Say you give somebody the best reading and you bring spirit through and you really bring them through and they're going to want it every day. They're going to want it every day on the same time. They're going to want it. And honestly, there has to be a line where you have to be mature as a reader and go, well, I am financially taking advantage of someone.
Yes,
this is where.
And I do feel like there's a lot of that going on in
There
Belfast.
is
And
a lot.
I like to say it out loud now, because I feel like all these continuous circles and mentorships and the promises to people that they're going to be the readers and the rest of it, like there might be 20 people end up in a circle. Not everybody one of them is going to be a reader.
Very few actually.
And then whenever people are getting readings, you should only need a reading if even
once every 6 years, really, 6 or 7 years.
Like once is enough, because how many people die in your family, considering if you have a big family or not, and how many times are you going to be able to not get over that grief? Like it takes one big death to really, really, really knock you for 6. And then it takes another death to help you to learn how to get over people passing on. And then, do you really need a mediumship reading every other day, like every other month, you know? And it's not fair when mediums don't say, hey, you need some counselling. Like, I understand that this is really hard and this transition's been really hard, but I'm not going to take advantage of you. And I do say that as well. Like when people say, when can I come back to you when it comes to mediumship, I say, I prefer you didn't. I prefer you go and you heal and you reconnect yourself. I do give them wee tasks and how to connect themselves during the reading. But when it comes to astrology, that's constant. You know, that's like what's coming up for me in the next transit every 6 years or a year or every couple of months. See that when that passes me, like Venus square is going to square my Pluto soon. What's that going to happen for me? That could be constant. But there's also like memberships and stuff you can do with astrologers. I'm not the only astrologer in Belfast. There's so many. Like, and funny enough, it was another Belfast astrologer that actually triggered my real interest into it. So, you know, I think with grief, it's a big, big, big thing. People don't realize grief is mental health. It's something that you're diving into.
Absolutely is, and it's faith too. It's
faith.
See, this is where I always think God will get angry if I was really doing the medium all the time.
Do you know what? It's really, really not learning people. So when you're always doing mediumship, they have no faith. They just think that this person, and people forget this well. See, whenever mediums are human. And I think some mediums forget that they're human, and they sell themselves out so much. See all these live shows and all that. There, I can't. It's cringy, and it's not gonna happen for me anymore.
No.
I like the people who really, really are humble when it comes to mediumship, because you're not God and I'm not God. And God's within us all. And granted, whatever God you believe in, I believe in God as a universal spark. Like
created all of us.
Yes, and it's just like a flowing energy of all that's inside everything. I'm not particular on a separate consciousness or somebody who created everything in that way as a person. But I do think that people just need to let people live, and it's so hard to explain with mediumship, because you don't want to crush anybody's feelings or their faith either.
I know it's hard, and I feel like that's what it is you're walking around in eggshells quite a lot, like with it, meaning like people always want it the same way, and say like someone gets the message, right, then everyone in the family wants that message, and it's really not like that. It's based on where you are.
You
know what I mean?
Have you ever noticed that most of your readings come from the Protestant area, or like of the community, the Protestant community.
Oh, I think maybe I have more Catholics.
Yeah, I always get more Protestants,
do you?
and it's so weird as well. And it's so funny as well. See, whenever you're talking to, they're all the same.
Yeah.
Everybody's all the same. We're
Yeah.
just looking for the same thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we come from Belfast, and it's like we're so different. But really, whenever you get to the core of everybody's heart,
Yeah, they're all the same. They
all
are.
the same.
The hearts are all the same here
Yes,
anyway.
it really
Definitely.
is, and that's what I sort of love. Belfast is so small. I mean, you're getting to know people, and you're getting to know other readers.
Yeah.
And all, you do become protective of your community. You
Yeah.
do like, I hope our community heals, and I do
Yes.
think this big spark of heal, like, I know we're saying it's a trend, but maybe we really do need a deep healing.
We do, because we're coming out of civil war, really.
It is.
And nobody likes to talk about that, but it is. It's civil war, really.
I know. And it's spiritual war too, because it doesn't really matter what you believe in as long as you're okay and your heart and your nice. And that's it.
Yeah, as long as you're kind,
and
I
you're
suppose.
king. But I do. I feel like the mediumship is a really touchy subject now for Belfast. Like,
Yeah.
And it's not. I want to say this. I would have said this here on my page all the time, but for me, mediumship isn't somebody comes through and they're smoking a fag. Like, it's not the way it works, and some people sells it that way. And
I know.
It's so bad. Like,
I know.
I don't know what to say whenever I hear that.
If anything, it's not a human concept, really, at all.
Oh my God.
Sure,
You've narrowed it down really
and
well.
Sometimes they show you things, but it isn't a human concept at all.
They'll show you memories, they'll give you feelings and all, but I assure you, if there's anybody saying that your grandpa or whatever is in front of me smoking and all, I
disagree.
Yeah. I disagree, because I've been doing this, 15 years now, and I'm going to myself, it's never came through that way for me. Spirit's so much harder to explain.
It is, because we cannot actually fathom it, really. Just be glimpses.
And yes, sometimes you'll see dreams and you'll have these things and then you drop it down, but it's never a solid human form again.
Yeah, no, it isn't. They like to animate it, but it's never really.
It isn't. And he's here and he's smoking this and he's doing that and he's blah blah blah, and I go, is it?
Exactly. I feel like people want to hold on to the fact that they're still human, because we can't fathom a life beyond here. Really.
I feel like it's and see, the spiritual community, it's a really it's a really gated community.
Bitchy.
It's bitchy.
It is.
It's competitive.
It's
Nobody
very
likes to actually call it out for what it is, but it's competitive, and it's become a sport.
It has, hasn't it?
And I had to say it out loud today, because it's not, just shouldn't be that. It's supposed to be all healing and blah 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 blah. But now it's purely ego driven with some of them, and I'm going, I don't want to do it no more.
See, that's what makes me not want to do spirit, really, because I think there's a lot of ego in that there, like, definitely.
I remember as well, and I remember years ago, whenever I first started following you years ago.
Yeah.
You were one of the only ones that ever done tarot. But do you remember all the superstitions around tarot for years?
Yes.
And you were just flat out doing them, and I went, I love them tarot cards. I always had angel cards, and I went, I'm going to get them.
Yeah.
I'm going to get them. I think I got the tarot.
I always felt really bad going on even talking about spirit, because it's like, that needs to be done personal. What if
privately?
Yes.
Oh
my God,
I'd be like that too.
Say I say something to one family member, if other family members were to hear that, it could hurt them. Because everybody grieves different. I have heard
some stuff being said on them lives, and I go, that really was for one-on-one conversation. Like things like sexual abuse and murders and really serious deaths that passed away and stuff like that there. That shouldn't be done on a live. No. And I've seen that come across a lot now, and I'm going, what? Why?
No.
Why is that happening?
I know.
I shouldn't laugh, but I am like,
why is that
happening? There should be a lot of boundaries set. Sometimes I do think there should be like a qualification set for some of these people, and people go, you can't do that there, blah 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 blah. But there has to be some sort of safeguarding that's done.
Regulating,
because I see Belfast, their mental health is really went down.
Hasn't it? And COVID just made it worse too.
I genuinely don't think that all these mediums that sparked up from everywhere really help.
No, I don't think they really help either. They're in the rat race, I think.
I go in and I go on and I do my horoscopes, and I go from Aries to Pisces, and they're general, and I will make sure that I tell everybody these are general. If they don't fit you, it's not for you, move on.
Yeah.
Or apply to your sun, your moon, your basin.
Yeah.
I don't know you personal. This is not personal to you.
Yeah.
Please look after yourself, take accountability for yourself.
Yeah.
But then you go on and you see the mediums doing it, and it just doesn't feel right for me. And a bit of a dragging session.
I think
I'm
a lot
sure
of
a lot
new
of
ones
people's.
are finding their feet now, and it's like, oh my god, look at what we're doing.
I know, I
I'm
know.
like,
It is, and oh my god, I can do this here, and then oh
yes,
my god, I can do this
oh
here,
my
and then.
god, I've opened a shop.
But
Oh
they
my god, I've
forget,
done this. Oh my god,
they forget though. Spirit is energy, and you
yeah,
pick up the energy of that person consistently.
yeah,
And I always tell people, cleanse and whatever else. But see, when you're constantly pulling in spirit, the mediums get sick. What medium do you not know that's not sick?
I know,
Because
I
you're picking
know,
up past
I
you're
know,
picking up their
yeah,
past
yeah,
energy, and if you're constantly in the spirit world, you're neglecting your body here,
yeah,
and that's what's happening. And people, nobody teaches that anymore. My granny taught me that 30
yeah,
years ago, and my daddy always said to me, listen, spend time in there, make sure you come back and make sure you shower and you cleanse and you bring the light into
yeah,
yourself again.
yeah,
And I'm not talking about the light, but I'm talking about like pure energy
yeah,
that's only for you,
yeah, that belongs to you.
But that's how I feel. And yeah, a lot of mediums, they're sick.
Yeah,
They are.
yeah, I know, I know,
And I just don't know how to.
I know. There's no moral compass, sure. There's not.
No,
No,
I don't feel like
and that
that.
scares me. Like, I
I
think
don't.
God would be very angry.
I feel like me and you are like kind of outcasts in our
A
community,
wee
though.
bit, I am definitely. Like, I am. I really am
It's
definitely.
because we're big characters as
Yes, it
well,
is.
and sometimes I'm out there and I'm saying how I feel, and I'll go back and withdraw and go, "Am I doing the right thing?" By and then my family always says to me, because we have a lot of people who are
Yeah,
spiritual healers
yeah,
and they're quite quiet about it, and they say, "But you're just telling the truth. You're just being
yeah,
honest. That's your truth. Speak it out, and that's it." And
yeah.
people don't like it. And
I'm
I
glad
go,
you say it half the
I
time.
know, because that's one of the things we have in common.
Yeah,
We are not going to dress it up for you. We're not going to butter
yes,
up. We're not going to tell
exactly.
people, what, your dead cat's here that's purring.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
they're going, why
I
are you
know.
saying
It's
that?
so fucking like. I mean, like, could you imagine you believed in mediums and you were getting that relief, and then when you got the next bit, you needed a medium to see your loved one?
And I
Could
know.
you imagine that? Like, actually?
I do. I feel like I've actually only ever had one reading. I'm not gonna say who it was from. One proper reading just for me, and nobody knew I was going to it. And I'll tell you what they said to me. This was before I had my wee girl, and it's a good story because it just proves that not everything that they say is right,
Yeah,
and you have to be careful of who's reading you and aware of them, because
yeah,
if they're not honest about their life, they can project all their insecurities and issues onto you.
yeah,
This girl got me in, and it was before I had my last daughter, and I'd struggled with infertility problems.
yeah,
Lost many relationships out of it because I couldn't conceive, and I
yeah,
felt worthless, and I felt like I can't be in a relationship if I can't give the person
yeah.
I love a baby. So I went to see this girl, and my granddad had passed away maybe 6 years at this point, and she said he came through, and she said, "You need to stop doing readings. You're ruining people's lives." She said, "You'll not have any more babies, and by the way, you're gay." She told me that you're going to get really sick and your body's going to become really, really down, and you need to look after yourself. And she also said to me that there was no possibility of me settling down ever again, um, that I'm really supposed to be focused on myself and stay alone. And I left that there, and I got so sick, like, I mean, like, my mental health went
Declined then.
so bad.
Aye.
I'll tell you what, I had a nervous breakdown and lost my speech. I was catatonic. It wasn't just because of that reading, but that was a cherry on top. And now I'm sitting here, I'm in a relationship, I'm very much in love, I've had a daughter.
Yeah,
I still continue on doing readings, but
yeah,
the stuff that she said to me wasn't right. And
yeah,
then it just came out basically that a lot of the stuff that she had said to me was about her.
yeah,
And it was
yeah,
she'd even said to me about being in abusive relationships and all.
yeah.
It was all about her. It
Is
was
this
all
somebody that I know?
would be.
Hmm.
But I tell you what, see what she done there. She actually probably nearly almost ruined my life.
Really?
Like I waited. I don't want to give it away, but I waited a long time for that reading, and I
Really?
thought she would spark a bit of hope in me because I thought I saw something in her, and in fact, all I really saw was
Insecurity.
not even insecurity. I put my faith in another person in
Yeah,
that way. And whilst it's okay to do sometimes when you're particularly vulnerable, especially the way I was, because you could see that
yeah,
I was very vulnerable, like
yeah,
a lost girl, you need to walk away. You need to say this.
yeah,
If it was me, I would have turned around and said, "Listen, I don't think you're ready for this reading, love.
yeah,
I think what you need to do is work on you, get a better counselling, and come back to me in 6 months
yeah,
and show me what you've done, and then I'll be able
yeah,
to do this mediumship for you."
yeah.
But this was almost said as if it came from my granda. And now,
Really?
every time I connect with spirit, he's the only strength that I sort of have. I get flashes of him and memories, and I go,
Yeah,
I'm doing the right thing. I'm helping other people live their
yeah,
lives in a good way. I'm helping them manifest. I'm helping them change their lives. I'm
yeah.
helping them get that car. I'm pushing them. And you become people's supportive
You
factor.
do. You
And that's
definitely
what
do.
you're meant to be. A
Yeah,
spiritual advisor is not somebody to tell you how to do your life or tell you what's coming forward for you and
yeah,
set it in stone for you. We're meant to guide you into the best
yeah.
possible life, and I don't think that many of them actually understand that anymore.
No,
They just feel like they're in control of other people's lives now,
yeah,
you
that is
know.
so true.
And there's nothing wrong with being a positive reader.
No,
There
there's not.
really isn't. There's no
No,
need to tell people anything bad like that, because what can they do in the future anyway?
nothing.
They have to learn how to fix it themselves. So
Exactly.
there's no point of going, here, you'll never ever have a baby ever again.
Yeah,
Like, if that was the case and that had been true for me,
you
why did I
wouldn't.
need to know there and then?
Exactly.
You know,
There was no point to you even knowing. Exactly,
I
exactly.
was only 26 or something at the time.
Yeah, you
I
should
was
only say things that you should like be effective. Like other things don't mean anything.
a bad thing that I would want to hear is your car's gonna break down,
Yeah, or
or
the clutch or something. Yes, yeah,
you're gonna need money soon, so get that
yeah,
sorted.
yeah,
I don't want to hear anything like that
yeah,
there. And
yeah,
I think there's a moral gauge that has been lost with reasons
yeah,
in
yeah.
Belfast now.
Nobody's regulating it.
Nobody is
Nobody.
regulating it, and it's just, you know what it's like. What do you call them?
Conveyor belt.
Conveyor
I
belts.
know.
We're going to teach you how to be mediums,
I
and they
know.
stick them in the microwave and then they throw them out. We
I
call them
know.
microwave mediums.
They are microwave
Memory.
mediums. Microwave mediums. They fucking are. You're so right.
No,
Like
but
we're gonna have to maybe do a circle sometime, teach them right.
you know what? I love to do circle with you, because you know
Yes.
what? We don't butter it up, and
Yeah.
it really is about, like, they all sell it to you as if you just do mediumship in this certain way. It has to be visual. You have to see it. And I have sat in some of my circles. My God, some of these people are like really unwell.
Yeah.
And
Like
I'm getting the
when I
same
went to
messages to
circle,
you, but I'm not feeling
I
like,
felt like that. I don't like to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I felt like it was mainly there was one girl in particular. God rest her, she's not here now. I felt like the whole circle was about her issues.
yes.
The whole circle was just, and it was the same thing over and over again every single week.
That's why I said, like, if you feel like your calling is to learn tarot or mediumship,
Yeah.
it's probably not to give anybody a reading. It's probably to connect with yourself and
Yeah.
learn for
Yeah.
you, because you're obviously neglecting yourself in
Yeah.
some way or another. But I do think a lot of people join circles because they feel like they're going to get a reading every week
Yes.
and stuff like that. There,
Yeah.
it's not what's going to happen for you, you know. And spirit does whatever it wants.
It does
It
completely. It
does.
really, really
See
does.
that there. Don't, when you go for a reading, don't expect to hear certain people,
Yeah.
because spirit will give you what you need.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's the same way. Like, people go, spirit will give you what you need, and there's a big mystery of it. Whatever you think, you attract, and that's how spirit works out. If you are going through a low time and you're expecting to hear from your granny who had a great life, you're not. You're probably going to hear from your uncle who had a shit one,
Yeah. Because of the vibration you're in.
because of the vibration you're in, and also because that's what you need to hear at that time.
Yes, exactly.
But people don't understand that's how
Yep.
spirit works too.
They literally think, honestly, they literally think that person needs to come to me right now and all this. And I honestly, it's where I draw the line. I'm not a switchboard. In fact, I can probably channel, but I don't
I'm
even
not a
believe in. I don't
switchboard.
believe in really channeling. I just feel like it needs to come rather than you try and channel. Know what I mean?
Yes, I just picture it as energy and memories, and it comes like a wee film, and that's it. And
Yeah,
you know yourself.
yeah,
Some people
yeah,
are really selling it bad, and I'm going to myself, and it makes people doubt each other. Not everybody is that degree of mentally ill, and
yeah,
I'm saying that outright.
yeah,
And that makes certain people who are maybe not or who are neurotypical,
yeah,
who do not see or cannot imagine very much, makes them believe that they can't do what we do, when
yeah.
I believe everybody can do it. I
I
know
do
how,
too.
and I think that if you're saying to certain people, unless you see spirit in front of you right now,
Yep.
you are not a medium.
Yeah,
And that makes people go, well, I can't see anything. But some of them people, whenever they lie in bed and they're trying to feel into their mum, they can feel it.
yeah,
And that there is mediumship, and
yeah.
nobody tells them that. And that's
Yes,
heartbreaking. It makes me
exactly.
emotional, because if you can feel spirit, you're there. If
If
you
you
can
can feel
dream
them,
spirit, you're there. If you had an inkling that your grandpa just passed you, you're
you're
there.
right.
You're
Yeah.
there. It's a different muscle for everybody. Exercise and you'll get there.
We need to train people how to do it, don't we? Like
We do,
truthfully.
we do. But you know, it's just a step. I know teaching's my next thing.
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
think it's teaching. I give so many readings and sick of it now, and it's probably came through to you today. But I think there's only so much you can sort of do.
yeah,
Like you've done the octopus where you've give out this and that and
yeah,
this, and now it's time for you to be the teacher
yeah,
and
yeah,
actually show people other people because
yeah,
and maybe 30 years time when my kids are older I would like to see so many people are so open to this that there is no real reason for us
yeah, yeah,
because it does
yeah.
cause, does that make sense?
Yes,
That's terrible.
I would love that too. Like, to be
Some
honest,
people are going, oh my god, my livelihood,
I
these
know,
people are trying to cancel us.
I know.
And I'm like, guys,
We're not. We're trying to
everybody
create a
will be a
world
witch by then, and it
where
will happen because
create a world where everybody's able to do it and not.
see the age of Aquarius. We're going into that now. We're very early into it. People will say we're not touching it whatsoever. We're very early into it. That's all about community. It's
Yeah,
all about spirituality. It's all about connecting as one, right?
yeah,
And it's all about revolution and moving on and a lot there'll be revolts against like religions and
yeah,
especially the Catholic Church and I am Catholic. I was raised Catholic. I can say that. They'll be pushing away from all them Abrahamic
yep,
religions and people will be moving into like spiritual thought and accountability and responsibility for their own energies.
yeah,
And as that happens, there will be no more need for us, and
yeah,
that's the aim, because
yeah,
the last time we were sort of like that there was maybe the Egyptian times,
yes,
and that was the age of Leo. It was kind of the opposite,
yeah, yeah,
and I think that we're going to be able to like just going to all be able to connect a wee bit better and read
yeah.
each other's energy a wee bit.
Hopefully,
Because some people will be like completely ignorant, like they'll be just like,
aye,
no, it's not for me. We're
yeah,
still, and there'll be a new
yeah,
cult that comes in the next
yes.
200, 300 years.
I know. I dare say there will be a new cult. Josie, you've been a great guest. Really, really brilliant. Honestly,
Have you had fun with me today?
yes, I have. Give me a big hug. Thank you so much for coming on. Josie, where can people find you?
The gift of Hades.
Yes, so you're on Instagram, Facebook,
Yes.
TikTok, all of it. Your TikToks
Yes.
are going well, aren't you?
They are, but and they're going to be more edged into teaching again now because I've
Yes.
had fun on TikTok, but I think that I need to utilize it properly, and I'm sure
Yes.
you're the same
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I like to have the
Maybe
gig on
they'll
it.
see more of us,
Yes. Are you going to come
together.
on and do another podcast?
Yes,
I think I'd maybe like to get you and Marie on together.
tried
Maybe.
for months, so we did, and we felt like I just couldn't get the time,
Yeah, yeah,
and then see with having kids, and then my mummy, obviously, it just
yeah.
wasn't working out. But now that a wee bit more help at home and all of
Yes.
everything, I
Brilliant.
think that I'll be more engaged now.
Yes.
But I think as well I needed to move away from spirituality for a wee bit
In
and
order to
focus
get your head together.
because see when you're up there all the time, the whole world falls
Aye,
apart.
the whole world falls apart. Honestly, if you've got perfect high, the whole world, you've nothing to come back to.
No, I know.
Literally, like, because your whole life goes to shit, doesn't it? Like sometimes.
Yes. Well, do you know what? I think that's just part of life, and
Yeah.
people sell it to you on Instagram, but basically your life should be perfect. And then
Yes.
you see all these Instagram spiritualists popping up, and they're constantly at the beach, and they're this and they're that. And I'm like, I went to the beach once this year. And I have to have taken that picture all week. But you know what? Not everybody's life's perfect.
Spirituality is not plastic. It's not. It's the man that's homeless. It's the person who has nothing. That is true spirituality, really.
Yes, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
And don't forget to donate to the homeless.
Yes.
It's coming to Christmas.
Yes.
Skagany Food Bank is looking for boys.
Food Bank. Yes.
And you catch us both on Third Eye.
Third Eye Online.
Yes.
We have a joint sort of magazine page that we share everything from the community, not always spiritual. But if you would like some advertising for your business, you would like us to come out and do a video, you'd like some promotion, let us know.
Glenn, you're very good at that.
Yes. Yes, I enjoy it. I enjoy video creation and media and all.
I think that's where we're going as well.
I think so.
I think that's where we're gonna introduce spirituality
to
it. You know what I mean? And I think
we need our own spiritual show. Josie, you've been great.
See you later.